Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah. Take that, YouTube.
Yeah, what he said. The
Got it. Live on the tube.
tube of views.
Right. Welcome, YouTube. So if you're new to this is we start the YouTube live before we hit record on our podcast.
Give you
Uh,
time to make your popcorn.
get your popcorn, get your drinks ready, and typically we do our podcast a little different. We typically interview our guests through Zoom, and usually it's private, and then we upload it to all podcast formats, and then you can enjoy it whenever you want. All 107 episodes or something like that, Sean.
Yeah, this will be 108 after tonight. And just an FYI, for those of you that are listening to us on Google Podcasts are going away. They're doing away with it completely. So if you go to your Google Podcast app, it'll give you instructions on how to migrate your current podcast to a different outlet. So there won't, I think 3 days from now, I think that happens, but make sure you do that so that you don't miss us if you are a Google Podcast subscriber.
You don't want to miss anything that comes out.
Especially today.
So, I have
Wait to see
YouTube.
the live here.
YouTube, I have zero fucks to give.
Sorry, I'm waiting to see the live come up here on YouTube. I don't see it yet. I know it said we were live.
Let me know that.
Why don't I see it?
That's now. Well, Sean is looking for YouTube. We're going to go ahead and hit record and get started. Tonight it's just us. Next week we're going to have the wonderful Kara Montgomery with this Mystic Splendor, and we're going to talk all things metaphysical and the eclipse and a whole bunch of other shit that's going to blow your damn mind. I had a Holy Fire Reiki session with her a little over a week ago, and it was interesting. We'll talk about that on next week's podcast. After that, we're gonna have Sean and Jen from Bump of the Night Society coming back on, talking about the spectrums of the spring, their very first Paracon down in Pittsburgh, coming up at the end of the month. So we'll look forward to that. Many more guests coming up. We'll get going. Give us a second, y'all. Some stuff to talk about. We good to go?
Yep.
All right, hitting record, Sean.
Welcome back once again to the Old World Paranormal Podcast, episode 108. For those of you joining us live on YouTube tonight, thank you for joining. So, Adam Stone, hello. L&M Paranormal and Phil Gibson are the first ones in the room here tonight. Normally, we have a special guest, but Nick, you're pretty special, so we'll just call you the special guest. Nick's got some, well, I'm not going to repeat the comment that you said the other day about why I'm part of the team and what the government does for you. I don't, you're a terrible person.
I am.
But yeah, but Brad Ferris, thanks for joining us too. But hey, everybody, thank you for joining us. If you are not watching us on YouTube and you are listening to us on your favorite podcast, join us Monday nights on our YouTube channel, Old World Paranormal Society. Join in the conversation, ask questions, let's talk to the people that are in the chat. It's always a good chat. If you are a Google Podcast subscriber, don't forget here in just a few days, Google Podcasts will be no more. So take the opportunity to go to your Google Podcast account and migrate your stuff over. They give you instructions to do so and make it really easy. That way, you never miss an episode. But tonight, like I said, no special guest other than Nick and myself. There are some things going on in the world of the paranormal that are some burning issues, and Nick is basically jumping out of his shorts to talk about them. And so he's got some things to say. And grab your popcorn and buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, there's a few topics, that have been coming around for a while now in the paranormal community. And, I made a post earlier this week, like, Jesus Christ, paranormal field, knock it the fuck off. Let's love each other, blah, blah, blah. And I truly, truly mean this. But there's a few issues that are out going around from the Midwest to the East Coast. And these three issues are driving me absolutely insane because these situations could be handled so much better. Let's just say that. And you're thinking, well, Nick, why are you putting your 2 cents into it? Well, one, because I can, and two, because I want to. So I'm going to throw some shit out there. So we're going to talk about the debunker situation, the hate groups. We're going to talk about the stop properties and the Kimmel properties going back and forth, which is really more one-sided, to be honest with you. We're really going to talk about that. And then lastly, this is something near and dear to Sean and I's heart. I want to talk about the Cody Satori thing in the Conjuring house.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna address this and talk about this in Cody and Satori's shoes. Okay.
Can we talk about Sam and Colby too at the same time?
I don't know Sam and Colby. I've never met them. I've never talked to them. I'll give my 2 cents on them. But that's just would be an asinine opinion because again, I really don't know them. I don't watch their content. I don't know, other than little tiny kids when they come to the paranormal, like, do you want Sam and Colby? And I'm like, no,
yeah.
I don't. I'm not fucking 14.
Right.
So, all right, let's just start it off with this whole debunker hate group. My shit's better than yours. My documentary's better than yours. Your evidence is fake. Mine's not. Everything you do is shit. And you don't take what I say, then I'm going to attack you personally.
Pretty harsh.
It is. And it's absolutely, absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there shouldn't be debunking groups. There absolutely should be debunking groups. There should be groups that are dedicated to double checking people's work through the paranormal, making sure that we don't have a bunch of yahoos doing this or that, which, you know what, whatever, I'm not going to get into it. My personal beliefs and my ethics and my morals are completely different, but this is the problem. Okay. Shut up, Sean.
I'm not gonna, yeah.
You have morals?
You have morals and ethics? What? When did this happen?
Again, I'm going to talk about this and bring up some stuff because why? I have a very good reputation in the paranormal. Sean has a good reputation in the paranormal. We don't bullshit. There's nothing. It's just we are who we are. We go out and have fun. Then we go out and do serious work. We're all about working with other people and having a good time and the whole 9 yards. So you got a problem with that and you want to personally attack us, let's go, because I don't care who you are. I will not back down and I will go toe to toe with you. If you want to keep it on the computer, we'll keep it on the computer. If you want to do it face to face, I would love to do it face to face. I will not back down.
Nick's a little guy, but he's pretty feisty.
So
he hits pretty hard.
My problem is when you take your case from debunking to turning it into hate groups, and these hate groups now turn around and go after these people personally, their personal life, their family. They're talking about, their weight, their height, the way they look, fat shaming, the whole fucking 9 yards. Look, you're crossing the line there, flat out. You're crossing the line and you need to fucking stop. If you don't like what somebody does professionally, you are more than welcome to Say whatever you want against their body of work. That is your opinion. But when you cross that line and you start attacking them personally for no reason other than to try to get your point across more, trying to make yourself look better, I don't know. In turn, that's a you fucking problem. Like, you have something personally wrong in your own life if you need to go to social media to trash somebody personally.
Yep.
So that right there needs to stop. What do you think, Sean? That to me, that's crossed the line. And I know you like the debunkers just as much as I do. You think they're important. At least I think you think that way.
Yeah, and the first thing that popped in my head when you were talking about debunkers and debunker groups and stuff like that, they are necessary and they are needed, but we are also a part of that. That's part of what we do,
right?
And as OWPS, and I've been with OWPS for several years now, we have tried to debunk stuff, we successfully, unsuccessfully, but that's a big part of what we do in investigations. We don't take everything at face value. But when you have people out there who are turning something, I want to say as serious as debunking, if that makes any sense, but you're taking that and taking it to a whole different level by bringing up personal things about people, that's when you've crossed the line. You need to start some whole other private group, because it doesn't belong in what we do. We say it all the time. Why can't we just get along and focus on one thing? We all have the same goal in mind. So why do we constantly go back and forth? And why is there so much competition? There shouldn't be competition. This isn't a game. This is what we do. There should be 20 teams willing to work together to achieve one goal. And that just never fucking happens.
It's like there's people that go out there and they film really good content. Okay.
Absolutely.
And there's some people that go out and film some okay content. Either
one on that
is
subject real quick. Blood Moon Paranormal just put up a video on YouTube of their Monroe House investigation. Watch it, because it's freaking phenomenal. Their production value is amazing.
I have high respect for Zach and Emily and them. They get a lot of shit. I don't know why. Blood Moon are good people. They're phenomenal. They care, and they are trying to progress themselves. And I am 100% huge fans of Blood Moon, and I will watch that. And you know what?
Absolutely.
That's something, because I don't watch anybody's shit. I don't watch my own shit.
Right.
But let's talk about that. The Monroe House. So Blood Moon just went and filmed a documentary there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Put it up on YouTube. I've known some other content creators that have gone to the Monroe House and filmed their movie posters sitting up in the house. Now, I have not watched it. It's probably phenomenal. They probably did phenomenal work, phenomenal research, phenomenal everything. It might be the most top notch. It might be better than Blood Moon. I don't know. Personally, I don't care. But when these people are contacting other people that go to the same location and try to nitpick them and tell them they're doing everything fucking wrong, because what they found is what's true and what they did is what's true, but yours isn't. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Seriously. Take your experience, your fucking research, make your documentary, put it out there, let everybody see your blood, sweat, and tears and what you put together, and let everybody enjoy it. Now, if the next fucking group wants to come in and do the same thing, let them do it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why? Because thousands of fucking teams go in and out of fucking Monroe House. You ain't the only person. You ain't the only person that's ever going to film there. You ain't the only person that's ever not going to fucking film there. And I'm sorry, Nick, you're going to say yours is, are you going to message Nick Groff and say my documentary is better than yours? Are you going to have the fucking balls to call Nick Groff and say, I filmed there, my research is better, I did this, did that? Are you going to have the fucking balls? No, you're not. You're going to try to belittle other fucking people in the community for whatever fucking reason to toot your own goddamn horn. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And, on that same note, okay, you've got 1,000 teams that go in there. You get 1,000 different kinds of results. Instead of trying to disprove somebody's entire thing or say that, I'm right and you're wrong, could you imagine if those 1,000 teams took all their evidence and compared everything and brought it all together and put together a story?
That would be amazing.
That would, that would answer untold questions. It would debunk untold things, just to have all that information all in one pile and be like, hey, let's work together and see what we can come up with as a whole. A couple of things coming across YouTube here. Brad Ferris said, once it becomes bullying, it is definitely not cool. L&M Paranormal, when you investigate a location, you have a responsibility to debunk your evidence, 100%. Cole Hawk, the evidence you collect is your evidence. Where's the haters there? 99.9% is almost always the answer. In real life, nobody lives the same life, so their experience is not the same as yours. Nailed it.
All excellent points.
Yep.
I've been in the Monroe House a handful of times.
Yep.
Every time I've been in the Monroe House, it's been something different.
Every time.
Totally different experience. I've been with different people, different vibrations, different this, different that, different days, different times of the year, different weather outside. So many different factors.
Yeah.
It's going to be different.
We didn't go digging in the ceiling for bones.
That's something totally different. That's whatever. Yeah, I've said my piece about that.
Yeah.
But I just think, fine. You want to have hate groups, do it privately. Make sure, it doesn't get out on social media, I guess, because the problem is these people were adding people and they were like, whoa, this ain't cool. And they start screenshotting shit and posting the screenshots on social media. And everybody's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why am I getting dragged through the mud for this? For what reason?
Yeah.
What this person does not affect what this person does, or vice versa. Or your opinion shouldn't matter in either case. But the bullying stuff, it's got to stop. I tell people all the time, look, I have trolls. People that troll me for whatever fucking reason, ulterior motives or whatever. I just ignore them. There's only a few people in the field that I don't particularly care for, but you will never see me talk about them. Hell, you might even see me give them a hug on a convention. I don't know, but that's out of respect for what they do as a human being. We're not all going to like each other. Not everybody's going to like me. Most likely like Sean more than me, but whatever. I don't really care.
I'm a likable guy.
But, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm a very resting bitch face. The team calls me dictator, if that tells you anything.
Yeah. That's one of the things we call you. Yeah, Phil Gibson.
They probably have a hate group on the side.
That's a whole nother chat room. Yeah, Phil Gibson commented here. He said, hell, my last visit to the Monroe House was a solo, and it was the quietest night I've ever had there, which is odd for Phil, because Phil always gets stuff at the Monroe House. L&M Paranormal says, I call it a win if my content made it to a hate group. It means someone's watching us. That's a good point, in a way, I guess.
I've always made the statement, if everybody loves you, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's pretty much.
I treat everybody the same, whether, if I don't like you or whatever, I'm still gonna be cordial to you, and still, my opinion of you and how I'm going to interact with you are two different things. I'm not going to cause a scene, not going to be,
right.
Unless you're Zach Bagans, then I will tell you exactly what's on my mind.
And if that happens, I promise you, I will film it, and
Please do.
it
It's going to go
will be
viral.
all over social media.
We're going to go
Look,
viral.
am I fired up? Am I, going to pop off a little bit tonight? Yes, but I'm not on here to bash anybody about anything other than just please stop bullying people. Um, I guess that's bashing, but other than that, these are just common sense, like idiotic stuff, like human life shit, man. It's not even paranormal, you know.
Right.
Um, so let's just put that one to bed. Let's move on to the next one. This one might take a hot minute, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some slack. I'm sure there'll be TikToks made of us and banning us from so many sites and blah blah blah. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. Now, this week or last week, I've stayed off social media quite a bit last few weeks, because I'm like, oh my God, like my news feed was nothing but bullshit. And, you haven't even seen us TikTok live in a few weeks because it's like we've had some trolls and we got shadow banned and it's just retarded. And I just, I was like, I don't want to go TikTok live. But so I'm gonna name drop, and I'm gonna say this. And if these people pop in during the middle of it, look, I love each and every one of you people. Okay, that's why I am going to speak about this. Okay, so I'm going through my news feed, and I see a video of a friend of mine named Jeff Fenn, and he's going off on another dear friend of mine, Brad Ferris.
Shout
And
out Brad Ferris.
I'm like, what did I miss? This was Thursday last. I'm like, what the hell did I miss? I asked Bree. I'm like, what did we miss? She's like, I don't know. Bree said the same thing. I've stayed off social media. She's like, I can't handle it right now. You know, and so I'm listening to the comments, and look, I'm not bashing Jeff. I love Jeff. Jeff is a highly respectable man in the field. The boxes he makes, you can't fucking
Amazing.
compete with him. What he does in the paranormal community, he is a phenomenal dude. Now, there's a couple things he said in that statement that kind of tripped my trigger. And I will say this, and I messaged them both. I messaged Brad and I messaged Jeff. And I said, look, I'm going to bring up this topic tonight. Would like you to tune in. You know, I did not watch so Brad and Clarissa have a podcast every Wednesday, and they talk about paranormal events, the ins and outs of what's going on with paranormal. Okay.
Brad said, hi, that's me.
Okay. I've tuned in, a few episodes and stuff like that, and I've watched their show, and I know Brad and Clarissa very well. They're amazing human beings. Okay. Huge, huge advocates of the paranormal, huge advocates of paranormal or para-unity, the whole 9 yards, and stuff like that. Now, I did not watch their show. Evidently, they brought up the topic on the stop properties. Save the Old Properties. If you don't know who Save the Old Properties is, they're the people that own the Randolph, the Stone Mansion, Blackford County Jail, Lynn Jones's church, Center Church, the Speakeasy. They own a school in Ohio, plethora of locations. And there's been a lot of rumors and stuff going around this past year of some very not so good things. Okay. And you're talking about like sexual assault, sexual harassment, stuff that is one, isn't cool, but two, can land you in prison. You know, now there is one gentleman that was working for them. His name was Tim Murphy. I know Tim Murphy. Tim is a kooky little guy. Tim does what Tim does, and does he cross the line sexual harassment? Yeah, I've seen it. Sexual assault, I have not seen it. I can't sit here and vouch for the guy either way if he sexually assaulted these women or anything like that. I can't vouch for the guy. I don't know. I won't. I'm not going to. Now, they eventually let Tim Murphy go, but now this keeps coming out like there are other people in the stop properties that have been accused of sexual stuff, including the owners, including one of their tour guides, uh, which fucking befuddled me because this is one of the sweetest old guys I've ever fucking met, Ted Martin, stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot of women coming out, you know, and they are chirping in the ears of people that run with the Madison Seminary and the Fairfield County Infirmary. They run Indiana State Sanitarium and this or that. Now, the gentleman that owns them, he doesn't own ISS. He helps run them in a couple other locations, but he owns Madison. He owns Fairfield. Adam Kimmel. Now, again, not on here to bash Adam Kimmel. I do not know Adam Kimmel. I know of him. I've never spoke to him. So I'm not going to sit here and bash him. Okay. I'd love to have a conversation. Do I think he's a little outlandish with this shit? A little, yeah, but that's my own personal opinion. Okay. But they have a lot of people. They think they're amazing people, and they probably are. They probably are. They have a lot of followers, a lot of faithful people. They have amazing properties, and Jeff helps them out. He's very good friends with them. Okay. Now, Jeff is a huge, huge advocate of women's rights. When me and Bree start dating, Jeff reached out to me. He's like, "You better fucking take care of Bree. I'm going to be watching you." And I'm like, "Whoa, bro. I got this. All right. I'm not a douchebag." But he was concerned because he knew that I do frequent the stop properties. That's because one of our teammates, Bob, is a tour guide at Blackford County Jail. And I assured Jeff, I said, "Look, I've never seen anything. I've never been around anything. Typically, when we're at the stop properties, we're there by ourselves and Bob's there." Okay. Flat out told me, he's like, "Okay, I feel more comfortable about that, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Well, I'm glad you feel more comfortable about that. I really don't care what you think what I do. But, I'm going to make sure that my team, my females on the team, my better half, Bree, will be safe the whole time. Because if anything was to happen sexually, and I'm talking my cousin's on the team, my daughter's on the team, one of my very, very dear friends is on the team, Denise, and my girlfriend. You better fucking believe nothing's going to happen on my watch to any of those people. I will wear orange. Proudly wear fucking orange."
That is facts.
Okay. Now, here's the fucking problem. I'm not going to dive into the whole RCI thing, Randolph County Asylum, Adam being there, Adam saying he got ripped off, blah, blah, blah. Dan says he stole money and that's how he bought the Madison. None of my fucking problem. I could care less. They want to fight about Randolph County for the next 50 fucking years. Go for it. I don't care. My problem is this is a thin gray line that has perplexed me for a while. Sexual assault should never happen. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something personal. Okay. My biological father did some things to my oldest sister, and my mother and stuff like that when he was younger. I didn't find out till I was a teenager. I didn't talk to the man for 15 years. So yes, I am not a fucking fan of sexual assault, and I'm not supporting that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the problem. And I'm not discrediting these women. It is almost time to come forward and do something about it. Because if not, and you're not, and you guys are going to keep talking about it and keep bringing it up and keep telling people in public to not go to these places for the safety because they might get sexually assaulted, that's a thin line of defamation, slander, cyberbullying. Like, you could be sued for that. You can lose all your personal shit. You can lose everything.
It's a very fine line to walk, though, with somebody who's had an experience like that. It's not obviously not that easy to. It's easier to say something about it than it is to do something about it, I think.
I understand
and the slander and stuff is completely unintentional, I'm sure.
Well, I'm playing devil's advocate here, Sean.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing the other side of the coin, so so both sides are addressed.
I 100% believe if these women, if it happened to them, they need to come forward, and it needs to be addressed. And if these people did it, they need to be behind bars.
100%.
They need to go to prison.
100%.
Okay? I trust me. But the problem is, the more you stretch it out and the more you talk about it on social media, but nothing ever happens, and you're saying, well, it's about to drop. It's about to drop. Well, fucking drop it then. Either drop it like it's hot, or fucking drop it. Because at some point, the other people might chime in and actually sue you, and then it's a whole shitstorm for yourself if these women still won't come forward and back you up. That's why I'm like, why go to social media?
Now, Nick, I know that you know, but some of our listeners and viewers might know. I've been in the professional wrestling industry for like 14 years. There was a point in time, it was maybe, 2-3 years ago, where this exact same thing happened, where things were occurring in locker rooms or outside of the venue with people, and there was this huge movement. It took a little while when it first started happening. It took about, I don't know, 4 to 6 months before enough people started speaking up about it, and then action started to be taken against these individuals. So maybe it just needs a little bit more time. With somebody like Jeff Fent advocating for these people like he does, I think he's really trying to help that process along. But it's up to these individuals whether or not they're going to say something and when. And I know from some of the people that were involved in the situation that I was referring to, these were people that were afraid to say something or afraid to do something about it, but eventually it happened.
Right.
So
you're 100% correct on Jeff. Jeff's banging his head on the wall like, let's go, let's get this done, let's blah, 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 blah. And, I've had multiple conversations on the phone with him. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I wholeheartedly, like, he knows this. Like, I've told him, like, I support your case 100%, but the only thing that bothered me, and there was something else, and we'll get to that here in a second about the Stone Mansion. But the only thing that bothered me was like, he might not know Brad and Clarissa personally, but the way he said it was like, I don't even know who these people are. Like, it almost sounded like a belittling, and I was shocked that he said it that way, and I'm like, man, like, and yes, they're both wrong. Brad, you're wrong too. There should have been a private conversation. Y'all should have messaged each other on Messenger and talked. That's no different than the bullying thing. Private conversation. Easy. have it. Don't put it on the social media. And Jeff even retracted it. He made another video. He's like, I apologize. I was pissed. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. It's just like, man, come on.
And Brad Ferris made a comment here. He said, this feud totally needs to stop. That is what our podcast was about. That caused the Jeff video and the Adam TikTok live where my personal profile was shared. I did see that on Facebook about that.
Okay, that's taking it a little too fucking far. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look. Adam Stone said this is a very sensitive subject in my criminal justice class about the sexual assault stuff. Might be interesting to have a little discussion with Adam Stone here one of these days.
Yeah, I already messaged Adam earlier. He's
you talked about it earlier. He's ready.
We'll have him on the podcast. Yeah, definitely bring that up for sure. I mean, this unfortunately is a very touchy subject to talk about, even in 2024, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. No woman should be taken advantage that way.
Nope.
Bottom line. And again, at the end of the day, it might be tomorrow, it might be a year from now, or it might be never. I don't fucking know. But if it comes to light and it is true, they should go to prison. I agree with that. But if it comes to light and, they're found not guilty, they should be put to bed.
Cold Hawk made a couple points here. He said, oddly enough, talking about these locations involved in what you've been talking about here, that oddly enough, it rented more as they talk about it, plus never had bigger celebs there before. Also, if someone cares so much about people's safety, then they would make sure it stopped. Sharing hints on social media is no solution to a real problem. That's the ticket right there. Say that
one more time.
All right. If someone cares so much about people's safety, then they would make sure it stopped. Sharing hints on social media isn't a solution to a real problem.
I got a point.
His best thoughts come when he's been drinking whiskey.
I love him. I love the big long-haired
tree-hugging hippie.
Tree-hugging hippie. I love him. But, again, I look, I'm not bashing Brad and Clarissa. They have every right to speak out what they fucking believe is right. Mm-hmm. I'm not bashing Jeff. I love Jeff. I'm not bashing Adam Kimmel. He can take this however he wants. I'm not bashing him. I have respect for what he does. He runs a lot of locations. But from a person that has lost a location, in a shitty way, eventually just like let it go. Just let it go? You have other things and stuff like that. It's like kind of beating a dead horse. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Great comment here. As a female, I appreciate an open conversation about this. Sadly, my old team had to have a rule where no female was ever by herself, which also is a pretty good practice, I think, if you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable.
Right. Well, that is having the hard conversation and bringing it to light and making sure everybody is safe, knowing who you're with, trusting who you're with. If you don't trust the people, fuck yeah, don't let a female go by herself. Hell no.
Nope.
Because there are a lot of fucking scumbags out there.
Unfortunately.
I hope, at the end of the day, I hope soon it's all resolved. That thing is peaceful, and Bree made a comment the other day, of course she's from Ohio. She lives in Indiana now. She's like, do I have to pick sides from Ohio to Indiana? I just started laughing. I'm like, no.
Only when it comes to sports.
But, the other thing was, okay, obviously the Stone Mansion. Look, guys, Winchester, Indiana got fucked up in those tornadoes. And the Stone Luckily, the building stood. It took a direct hit. All the beautiful trees got knocked over. The front porch is wrecked. Windows were blown out. I mean, it's a lot of damage. Now, they got some slack about somebody starting a GoFundMe for the Stone Mansion. Now, first thing I said was and I said it to Bob. I was like, I hope they have good insurance
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to be very expensive to fix that place.
Yeah.
But I don't. Who cares if somebody started a fucking GoFundMe for him? Who cares?
Yeah.
A lot of people do it for out of the love of locations and shit. Are you
Yeah.
gonna bash? Are you gonna bash Stephanie that owns McIntyre Villa, where she needed almost $12,000 to replace the boiler system in it, and the paranormal community came together and donated money in a GoFundMe, and she got one to save her fucking building? Are
There
you
you
gonna
go.
bash Tim Coomer for needing help with his family while his mother-in-law was in the hospital for months and months and months and months?
Yeah.
Are you gonna say something to their face and bash them for a GoFundMe?
First time.
That trips my trigger.
Yeah. That's
Dan
what
and
that stuff
Rich
is
have a
there
lot
for.
of money. Look, Dan and Rich have a lot of money. They sold a very successful business. They got into this stuff on accident, and they buy old properties to try to save them. Blah blah blah. Or they call themselves uh what is that word? Preservationists.
Preservation.
I mean that's a loose term. That's a loose term. I call them more like hoarders, but anyways, you know. Uh, but you know, there's nothing wrong with somebody starting a GoFundMe for them for the Stone Mansion.
Not at all.
You know, I don't understand every little thing that they do. They are so criticized.
Because people have nothing better to waste their time on than dumb shit.
But here's the kicker. I don't see Dan and Rich on social media blasting people or any other people.
Mm.
They just
No.
keep to themselves and do what they want to do. They're weird. Look, they're weird individuals.
Should ask them what their secret is. How do you do it?
But a GoFundMe, I mean, come on. That's just, come on, man. That's stretching. That's stretching.
That should be done for any location that goes through something like that, period.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's what the paranormal community does. They help people save properties so we can go ghost hunting them. You
It's no
know?
different than something like the Gettysburg Bash, where they collect money to go to, well, a number of different things. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
you know? I don't know.
The guy that had the truck trouble, and then his Ouija board display thing got destroyed
Yeah,
during that
got
storm.
wrecked.
And people there at the convention gave the guy money to help out.
Yep.
Is that wrong?
Cash. Gave the man cash to help him a little bit. And that was
I
to help
just,
fix their car.
it just it really just trips my trigger. I try to shut the fuck up and stay out of it. But it's like a few of these conversations, like the bullying thing, and then this, it's like, I don't know. We're supposed to go to MadCon and FCICon and ISSCon. We might get banned from it, whatever. I don't particularly care, to be honest with you. I hope not. I'd love to have Adam on here.
Absolutely.
I'd love to have Jeff on here. Let's talk. Um, but I feel for the women. I really do. I hope I hope for their sake, if all this is true, that they get the strength to come forward to get justice. You know, um, hey,
And don't worry, because there are people that have your back and will help you.
you know, it's a sad situation. Um, you know, there are things that go on in the paranormal community that are like, I mean, it's just like we had the one ghost girls on one night, and they're talking about the guy that owns the Stimson Hospital walking around with his junk literally hanging out of his shorts, and they're all laughing about it, and I'm thinking, holy fuck, that is extremely inappropriate. Like, dude lives with his wife in this house and lets people investigate, but he walks around with short shorts and his dick's hanging out. How has nobody like said anything about this dude? You know, but
Adam Stone said you better still be coming to Pittsburgh.
I'm pretty sure I'm safe in Pittsburgh. Jen and Sean love us.
Skylin said it's sad the Hannah House isn't doing the celebration anymore. Yeah.
I haven't talked to Jason. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, obviously something behind the scenes happened because Jason said, I'm done.
Yeah.
That is sad. That was a pretty cool event.
That was definitely cool. I liked it a lot. It was a beautiful day out, lots of cool people, good food.
I'm just, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, all I'm asking and I'm bitching and whining for is more common sense and private conversations. You know, you can be pissed at what I'm saying. You can like unfollow, send me hate mails, make TikToks of me, whatever you need to do. You know, I'll shoot you my address.
Here's a question for you, Nick. Cody Sharp has a question. Says, as a newcomer to the paranormal, what can we do to combat this stuff? So let's say you're brand new to the paranormal, not like a day, but relatively new, and you encounter what can they do to combat this stuff? What do you think? I mean, obviously,
You know what I say?
What
you know
do
what
you
I say,
say?
Sean?
What do you say?
Take the paranormal out of the equation. What would you do in general in life?
Good point. It's a good point. And this is one from earlier too. What do you think about this? So Skylin commented when we were talking about the stuff at the beginning here that it's the main reason that she carries to all locations. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. I carry half the time, or it's either in my truck.
Right.
I told Bree if she keeps doing remotely paranormal, she has to carry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I Sky is a wonderful individual, and I would be devastated if something happened to her. She's a cool person. I'd be devastated any female.
Right.
Again, I'm not knocking these females. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not.
Well, I think we know that.
I just want the bashing and the bullying and this and pointing finger shit to stop on social media. It's ridiculous.
Indeed.
Sit here like, don't go to these properties. You're supporting pedophiles and sexual assault people and this or that. I mean, come on, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. So.
Not that there aren't properties who are being run by people like that.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's more than what we're aware of.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I would assume so. Adam Stone's offered up his 15 years worth of security services. He actually said if she ever does a remotely paranormal in Pennsylvania, let him know. He can be around for you. See, that's the kind of stuff right there. Have each other's backs, you know?
I want to, one more thing, and then I want to move on to Cody and Satori in the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
So our friend John Curley of Haps Paranormal, he has a podcast. I've been on his podcast. Um, he has been a very well respected person in the paranormal community, and he has made some big mistakes here lately and cost him. And he's a person, and I hope John, you hear this. Dude, I will still stand beside you. In my heart, you're a good dude. You made a mistake, and you're owning it. So he was going after some people for faking some shit, whatever. I mean, that's what John does. John, he was a TAPS family member for a long time. He's got integrity. He was there. He was calling bullshit, blah, blah, blah. The problem was he had some people on his podcast that was bullying and fat shaming a lady. And John didn't say anything on the podcast and started laughing about it. I'm pretty sure he got shit canned from TAPS for it. Like I said, made his bed. He's in it, blah, blah, blah. But this is a case where do you let that one bad thing ruin the man, or do you let years of body of work, and the one mistake, what do you do, Sean?
Man, there's one thing to compare that to, and I don't want to cross that political route. But there was a situation that occurred with a former president and a news person on a bus. It's the same situation because not talking about the president. I'm talking about the guy that was interviewing him. Laughed while this situation was being discussed. It's the same thing, in my opinion. Same situation. And if something like that happens and you're laughing about it so that you don't lose your credibility, then you're doing something wrong. At that point, you stop what you're doing and address that situation and be like, that's not going to happen. Or you go with it and you subject yourself to the results of your decision.
Which
simple.
The results is, and TAPS had no choice to let him go.
Right.
They can't go back from that. There's no going back from
it. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's you deal with the results of your decisions.
Look, guys, I say a lot of fucked up shit on this podcast. Sean rolls his eyes. But I will own it. I will own it. I will own it, and I will own it. I'm not gonna back down from it. If I fuck up, I will be the first person. I will get on here and I'll be like, look, I apologize. I was a jackass. I was an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, all you have is your name and your reputation,
Yep.
So, but
this is true.
You do make mistakes. Some bigger than others.
And just like any other time, you learn from your mistakes, no matter how bad they are.
All right. 54 minutes in, and I'm pretty sure I've at least pissed off 30 people.
Well, I want to thank everybody that's joined us tonight. Right now, at this moment, I think since we've been doing the YouTube lives, the most people we've had watching, 24 are watching right now. Quite a few of them are commenting, and I'm kind of going through here.
And
Phil Gibson stuck around a little bit.
Our podcast does quite well around the globe. We're in 40 plus countries. No, we ain't no fucking Joe Rogan shit. I wish. But we do quite well. We are trying something new with the YouTube to help the YouTube channel, push it up and stuff like that. So we appreciate every single person that's tuning in on the YouTube right now. Thank you so much. Please hit the subscribe button. Help us out on our channel. We got some huge things in the works, stuff like that. So moving on, Sean, I want to get to dear friends of ours, Cody and Satori.
Cody and Satori.
The Conjuring House. Now, so this has been going on for a while. And it really came to light this week. Our dear friend Alex Matsuo, which I love and respect the fuck out of Alex.
She's awesome.
If you do not know who she is, you need to follow her. She is a no bullshit, says what she wants to say, and she is a bulldog. If you done pissed her off, watch out.
You're done, son.
You're done. You're done. So, again, I'm not bashing Alex for what she did this week. I promise you that. I just disagree a little bit with it. So, Cody and Satori, they did some episode with Sam and Colby up at the Conjuring House. Now, if you did not know, Cody and Satori help Tina, I don't know her last name, the lady that owns the Conjuring House. Look it up, Sean. I don't. But they help run the Conjuring House. Now, it come to light that possibly what Cody and Satori are known for, this thing that they do, I don't know what they call it. Sean, do you want to
Well, it didn't have a name, but somebody named it the Sakoti method.
Sakoti.
Yeah, somebody came up with that name for it, so that's kind of what's being used right now.
So it's been come to light and videos and this or that. It's been going around for months and months and months and months and months about how somehow Cody and Satori are faking this. And it's been this huge ordeal. I mean, even Pops got on there, Jason, and said his piece on it, which kudos to him. At the end of the day, that's his fucking daughter. I'd go in pit bull mode if somebody was attacking Gabby. You know what I mean? So kudos to Jason. Much respect for that guy. I don't care if you do know. I have huge respect for Jason. Now, we have witnessed it personally at the Bell. I only watched it for a little bit. Sean watched the whole thing. He partaked in the whole experiment at the Bell at the time. And he's like, bro, I don't know. I don't see how they could have faked it. This was like, holy shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to take Sean's word for it because Sean is the first person like, I think that's bullshit. I don't believe in that. No. So for Sean to like stick up and be like, no, like I've went like, holy shit.
Well, I've said it a million times already. It was at the Bell Mansion, which at the time that they were there, I was very well aware of the noises that the house makes. But this happened. I was 3 feet away from both of them, and you're hearing the knocks and responses to the letters, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty freaking cool. And then, you're thinking, well, maybe something's going on, but this just seems too real to be faked, And then at the very end, the thing that really hammered in the nail for me was when they were done, you could physically hear footsteps walking away from them toward one of the walls. You can't, I don't care who you are, you can't. The idea of even trying to make that happen doesn't even make any sense. But there were a few other people in the room at the time as well, and everybody was like, wow, that's footsteps walking away. So from what I saw, I have no reason to doubt them. But again, playing devil's advocate, I wasn't looking at their feet. I wasn't paying attention to any of that. I was just in that moment and listening, and all my attention was focused on what they were doing. So, uh, I can only speak from what I saw in person, and what I saw in person was pretty amazing. Whether whether I like them as individuals or whatever, it has nothing to do with it. What I saw was pretty convincing.
Right. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I have actually. And then I watched, I don't know if that was part of the same video or another one where they were being interviewed, and they were asked if they would do it, barefoot and stuff like that. I think that was a separate video. But yeah, I did. L&M Paranormal said, that was us. um, but yeah, I did watch the video. Yeah, both of them. I think it was two separate ones.
Now, again, debunking, huge part of the community. We should absolutely question things, especially things that are way too good to be true. Bree had an experience at Wildwood where some shit went down, and she put it up on TikTok, and immediately people were like, "What? That's too good to be true. It's fake. You faked it." We're like, "Holy shit! Okay, uh, we ain't that smart, people." You know.
Just
But
real quick here. Two things. L&M Paranormal, they've done it too. I've seen them do it on their videos as well. And also Dakota Windsor spoke up here. The video where they're interviewing Cody and Satori separately was done by Project Fear. Project Fear was interviewing them.
okay.
And asking them, would you do it barefoot and whatever? And Satori was like, well, no, because people are weird,
Right.
which I
Yeah, I
get.
mean, I forgot the Project Fear part of it too. But I'm not going to go into Project Fear after what they did to
Guess who just joined us in the chat?
who?
Father Ken Torres.
My man. My man. My man. I love me some Father Ken Torres.
Father Ken.
But debunking part of it, absolutely. Questioning it, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to far. Like, if you want to ask them to do it barefoot and put recorders around them and do all that, fine, ask them. But here's the problem. People are like, well, they're not speaking out about it. They need to speak out about it. They need to tell us if it's fake or not. No, they fucking don't.
No.
They don't have to do anything. They
That's
don't have
what
to
the
speak.
people want.
They don't have to reply to you. They don't have to make a video. They don't have to do any of it if they don't want to. If they want to continue doing what they're doing, huh?
So let me make this point too. You have to understand another thing too. Let's assume if they're faking this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that people understand that if they were faking it and they got caught faking it and they're trying to make it as though they're not, then they're going to be affecting Satori's father and what he does. So there's a lot at stake for them to be faking it. Because that's not going to affect just them. That's going to be like, oh, now Jason Hawes is faking shit. You know what I mean? So I think you got to consider that kind of stuff too.
Bree and I were talking about this the other day, and Cody and Satori have been on a lot of Ghost Hunter episodes. Satori, especially Satori, going all the way back to when she was a little younger, being on the Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation episodes. Now, only a few times has Jason allowed them to do this on their episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Jason has control over that.
Right.
And if you ask Jason, he will tell you personally, I do not believe in mediums. I do not believe any of that shit.
He doesn't believe in David Cox's mediums, none of that stuff.
He don't believe any of it. So in a heart of heart, he might not believe what Cody and Satori is doing is real.
True.
But you're talking about father daughter. Like it's going to be private conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I still, at the end of the day, regardless, it's a mute point if it's fake or if it's not. If they choose to go silent, that's their prerogative. They don't owe nothing to nobody to come out to like say it's no different than the Dan and Rich thing with the allegations. If they choose not to respond to the allegations, that's on them. That's how they choose to do it. You
Mm-hmm.
might not agree with it. I know me personally, if somebody came to me and was accusing me of sexual assault, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on there and be like, yo, no.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna go on a tirade. But again, that's my opinion. Way I would handle it. Sean, you may handle it different. Somebody else might handle it different. But you can't bash them for it because that's how they choose to, act on that situation.
Right. I have a feeling at some point in time, though, I think Satori and Cody are going to be pushed to that point where they're going to have to make a decision on whether or not to do this in a controlled environment with lots of equipment and whatever, just to prove somebody wrong or somebody right. And, it's a double edged sword because I feel like it would be nice to be able to do that just purely for debunking and research sake. Um, but not going into it saying, "Oh, you're faking it, and I'm going to prove it." That's not how that works. But I think at some point they probably will find a way to do it and have the results put out there. I mean, I would definitely, OWPS would definitely be down to do it. We'd be
Yeah.
more than happy to have them out and do it in a controlled environment, however they want to do it. You can keep your socks on. I give two shits. Um, but you know, I think eventually it will happen, and that'd be cool. Sure, whatever.
But what if they decide to come out and like, well, we're just never going to do that experiment again?
After they did it that night, or what?
What if they come out tomorrow, make a public statement, and they're like, well, we decided we're just not going to do that experiment anymore.
Okay,
Should it just be laid to bed?
why wouldn't it?
I don't know. I'm just
Because you know
asking.
what's going to
I
happen
think
is
it
50
should.
million, 50 million people are going to say, "Oh, that's why they're quitting because it was fake."
Probably.
Maybe they just don't want to deal with your bullshit anymore.
Exactly.
So if they
That's
want to
what
stop it, good for them. But other teams are going to start doing it. L&M Paranormal does it.
yep.
Other teams are going to do it. We can just say they're all faking it.
Somebody will.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I just think
It was
people think
yesterday.
just because they're in the spotlight on TV, like they owe us something. Like we demand them an answer from them. I don't
Yeah, you don't have the
know.
right to demand anything.
I mean, again, it goes back to the human basics. Like, there's nothing. Take the paranormal out of it.
Yeah, this
Take
is where the paranormal research comes into play.
right. Well, you mean it's like everybody's like paranormal this, paranormal that. Okay, in the situation, take the situation, pull the paranormal out of it, set it aside. How would you handle that on a day to day basis? Just being a fucking human being. That's how you should handle it. You
Yeah,
know.
the hard
Now,
concept for people to understand.
as far as the Conjuring House goes, you know, look, we were supposed to go there December 22nd last year. And work got screwed up. I decided I wasn't going because I had to work. Bree was still going to go to the Conjuring House. Her car was loaded. She was ready to leave, drive all that way. And all of a sudden her phone rings. And I'm not going to name this person. This person calls. It's like, hey, I know you're going to the Conjuring House. You need to hear this. So there's allegations of the owners and the staff of the Conjuring House setting stuff up in the house to fake interaction. So, Bree calls me. She tells me, she's like, I don't know what to do. Should I go? Should I not go? She's new into the community. It could hurt her reputation for going and putting out evidence, and then coming to find out these debunking groups have nailed it and all of it's bullshit inside the house. And now she looks bad, so she opted not to go, you know. Um, and this has been going on for a while. Now, this new owner, you have to fill out all this paperwork. You're only allowed 2 hours of live streaming. Anything you put out on social media, video wise, anything, blah, 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 they have to have rights to it first to go over it. There are numerous locations that are switching to this now. I mean, I have mixed feelings on it. It's like, again, I have mixed feelings about a lot of things because I understand the aspect of running a location and I understand that side of it. But then again, it's like, man, you're a few bad fucking people are killing it for the rest of us, Yeah, I would like to go to the Conjuring House and stream all night. That'd be cool as fuck. I'd like to go to the Octagon House and stream all night. That'd be really cool. But for some reason, somebody has crossed the line and these owners are taking a stance. They're like, no more.
Mm-hmm.
Give you 2 hours, whatever you're posting on social media. We want to look at it first before you put it on there. And if you do it, we're going to sue you again for defamation. So it kind of shies away some people. I'm like, me personally, I could care less. I could care less if there's still ghosts in the Conjuring House. I really don't care. I would like to go to the Conjuring House just to see it.
Just to say you've been there.
I want to touch the ground. I want to rub my hand on the walls. I want to feel the fucking place. I know it sounds weird, but
that does sound pretty weird.
I'm weird. Like I want to really hug the Conjuring. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. You're awfully close to that line, buddy.
I could care less if we're there for excuse me, 12 hours and I don't get any interaction. I really don't care. I would like to see it.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to see a lot of drama around the place. So, like, me personally, I'm going to stay away from it till the drama's done. Much like a lot of people did with Waverly Hills for a while. They're like, I'm going to stay away for a little bit, until Tina and them got the building back and now they're back up and running. But, I hope they're not doing that at the Conjuring. I hope that is a bunch of outlandish bullshit because that really suck and really ruin a very iconic location.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely would.
There's most paranormal investigators know that you can go some of the most famous places and you're going to go and you're going to get nothing that night. It's really quiet. But it's a bucket list location. It's a place you want to go. You can say, I was there. I stayed overnight. I investigated there,
Definitely.
I went to Ohio State Reformatory. I went to Waverly. I went to Old South. I went to College Hill. I went to Conjuring, It's no different than you driving by to go see the Amityville house. You can't go in there. You can't investigate it. It's owned by people that live there. But you will still drive there and stand across the street and take that selfie just to say you were there. That's the same thing with the fucking Conjuring house.
100%.
So I really hope that they're not doing this. I really hope they're not. Anybody
yeah, actually Phil no, not yet. Phil Gibson said, I think these owners are getting fed up with many of these content creators who are spreading false information and bunk history about the locations. Yeah.
We've been huge advocates we're on the same page. Send me 10 llamas and 2 universes, and we'll go.
I'll make a demon pop out of my ass.
I'll find a
Well,
demon right
actually,
behind me.
we can make a lot of llamas with you, and after having Taco Bell one night.
You know, to give kudos to Adam Kimmel. Again, I don't know the guy, but I do like the fact that he no bullshit on these content creators.
Especially, we have a mutual hatred of Zach Bagans.
You know, so kudos to him for speaking out on them. You know, again, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're not going to go away. You can scream and yell all you want and blah, blah, blah. They're not. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. Just ignore them. Eventually they'll quit, go away and get insurance jobs or something. I don't.
Sky Lynn said, I know for Monroe it was quiet the last 3 times she went, but she can say she's been there and experienced it. She loves history. L&M Paranormal would love to go to the Conjuring house to find out if they're faking evidence. What else we got here? Bree's in the house. She said we're killing it tonight. Yeah, we're killing our careers.
Killing our careers.
Killing our careers.
But, you know,
SD Paranormal.
you know, at the end of the
we've got
day,
members of Adam Stone's group in here. Okay.
At the end of the day, you know, I try to make personal connections with people. It's not all about the paranormal. You're not going to like everybody. You're not going to get away or get along with everybody. You know, it seems to be, it's like, what paranormal gang are you part of? Like, what are you repping? What's your gang in the paranormal? You know,
Indiana.
It's like,
sounds tough as hell, doesn't it?
And it's sad, you know. We've had a lot of conversation. You know, Bree spent a lot of time out East Coast, and there's a lot of locations out on the East Coast. There's so much history out there, you know. And I flat out told her, I said, I have no interest in going to the East Coast. It is them people out there on the East Coast are brutal, brutal.
Bree said we ride at dawn, and she'll bring the lighter fluid, baby.
These people at the Enfield house, holy shit. There's something wrong with these people. Have you seen some of the stuff they put out?
Yeah.
About people? Holy, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Just run your location.
Right. Can't we all just
raise your family, have a loving life, run your location, stop attacking people? Holy crap, what is your problem?
Yeah.
Again, oldworldparanormal@gmail.com.
Attention, Nick Carboni.
I can give you shits. My reputation ain't going anywhere. I haven't ever done anything wrong in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Sean and I stay neutral. We have a lot of people from both sides of the fence on this podcast. We enjoy each conversation. We push the envelope a little bit. We have fun. We talk about death boners and shit. Like, you know, okay, I do. But
you cats eating people.
If we see bullshit, we're gonna call it out.
Indeed.
You know, you could be my best friend in the paranormal. You're acting like a fucking idiot. Yeah, I'm gonna call you first. I'm like, what is your problem? You know, but I don't have a problem coming on here and talking about it. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah. Nope. This is about as real as it gets, man. That's one thing I like about this team is we will say what's on our fucking mind.
And if I don't come after you, Liz will. Liz will beat you up.
Liz will make you cry. She makes me cry.
She is a monster. She used to fight in MMA. I'll just let her deal with you.
Yes, L&M Paranormal said, did you say death boner? Well, yes, we did.
Yes, there's a whole episode about death boners.
Death boner and cats eating a human being all in the same episode.
Yeah, it was great.
After we got a tarot reading. Who was that with? Oh my gosh.
Sydney Hernandez.
It was Sydney Hernandez. So go back and listen to the Sydney Hernandez episode. You'll find all about death boners and cannibalistic cats.
Again, guys, in all seriousness, if you're popping on here, you popped in at the wrong time. I hope you listen to the whole podcast because we're not on here to bash any individual. It's just a general statement, common sense. Take the paranormal out of the equation. How would you handle it in everyday life as just being regular human beings? What would you do in that situation? Just the social media aspect of it is retarded.
Phil said, I know you don't have a problem with doing that, Nick. You made a special trip to the Bell to have a conversation with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Phil Gibson, one of my closest, dearest friends in the paranormal. I thought he was being an idiot.
One of the most authentic people.
Yes. Authentic, no bullshit, says what he wants to say, doesn't care. That's how he feels. I went and had a conversation with him, like, bro, you knock it off. Please.
And that's why Phil is now looking at the stars instead of hunting ghosts, thanks to you.
No, he's not because of me. He still loves me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Again, look, I'm not. I much respect for all these people. Much respect for Jeff Fent. I do have a lot of respect for Adam Kimmel running his locations. This is not a bashing thing. Brad and Clarissa, I have kudos of respect for these individuals. Cody Satori, the whole 9 yards. This is just, guys, like, common sense. Use your head. You know what I mean? As far as criminal acts, if the shit's true, put the hammer down.
Phil says you ruined him.
Put these people in jail. Absolutely. 100%. That is, again, take the paranormal out of it. Human aspect. These people need to go to prison.
You should keep an eye behind you because Bree's starting to peek in. I said if she peeks in, if she comes in, we'll be going 3 hours. It'll be canceled by the end of the
night. I truly, 98% of the people in the paranormal community, I love the death. This is my life. I love it. I love the paranormal. It breaks my fucking heart to see all this stuff on a daily basis. It truly does. I mean, I was tossing and turning last night thinking about this episode. And I was,
Uh-oh. There's a demon in your door.
There is a ghost of myself that I can hear.
There's some holy water and salt behind you. Hurry up.
You got to mute your phone, babe.
Muted.
Okay. So, this is just a couple of the subjects that's been really eating at me. You can ask Bree behind me. It's heartbreaking. It's bullshit. Debunk, people. Debunk. Just stop bullying.
There you go. Pretty simple solution to what seems to be a big problem.
Oh, now you're turning to me. I was egged on in the chat.
Would you like to make a statement? Everybody, this is Bree Hollingshead. Paranormal Road Trip and Bree.
Prepare for the gospel
remotely paranormal.
We don't have much.
Hashtag Be Like Bree. Skylin says my wifey.
My statement?
Would you like to make a statement?
About all the bullshit that's going on?
Well, I don't know how much you heard of the podcast, so.
I tried to follow as much as I could on Ellis.
What would be your, if you could summarize just a statement about the context of what we talked about tonight? What would Bree say?
Get your heads out of your ass. Stop the bullshit. We're not in high school. I mean, the I'll be honest. Anybody who follows me or sees my stuff will see I've been absent a lot. I've been absent because I'm tired of it. And I'm not one to keep my mouth shut. And to keep my mouth shut, I've had to be absent. It breaks my heart seeing the people being attacked, from weight to looks to surgery. People aren't treating anybody with respect anymore. It's everybody's out for themselves. And it breaks my heart because, if that was your child, if that was your sister, if that was your brother, if that was your mother, if that was your father, you would be going for the fucking knees. But everybody's running their mouth. They don't care. It's, what can I do to get my 15 seconds of fame? And nobody's getting any fame. Let's be honest. We're all in this doing this, we're all after the same thing. As long as we're not faking our evidence and we're not trashing each other. Well, guess what? We're trashing each other. So we already struck ourselves out there. Like the paranormal finally got ourselves to the point where we're out of the trailer park. We're like in the single family home. We're like in HUD. And we're putting our asses back to the redneck. We're taking away the credibility that people have fought tooth and nail to bring to the field. Dustin Perry, Jason Hawes, Brian J. Canham, Michael, Mike Ricksecker. I mean, I can keep going with names, of the people that have been busting their asses to bring credibility to the field. Nick Groff, his wife, Tessa. It's ridiculous what people are doing to set us backwards. There's no, people want to be like, oh, para-unity, my ass. I mean, there's stuff that I've gone through behind closed doors. Not once has anybody seen me make a public statement, defame, degrade, name drop, and trash the people that have been attacking me since September of 2023. When I first started really coming out into the field, you don't see me reacting. Don't react, hold your head up. It's all about holding yourself above reproach. Treating each other, how do you want to be treated? Just because somebody digs low doesn't mean you got to go 10 feet under them. The higher you hold your head up, yeah, you're going to have darts thrown at you because there's always going to be assholes, but that doesn't mean you got to turn into like the king or the queen, the pimple on their ass. Karma's a bitch. Keep doing what you're doing. Hold yourself above reproach. Stop playing into the games. Stop adding fuel to the fire. It's plain and simple. We're all in this, hopefully for the same thing, but we're all going to do it differently. Does that mean that we should sit there and nitpick each other? No. I mean, if somebody's doing something and falsifying evidence and you can prove it, say something. Definitely say something.
Especially if you can prove it.
Right, but don't destroy somebody else's credibility or reputation just because they pissed you off. I mean, people that don't like me have been threatening Paracons that I've been invited to speak to. Well, if you're having Bree Hollingshead there, we're not going to it. Well, guess what? I haven't been uninvited. I'm still going. So, peace, bitches.
L&M Paranormal says, I thought you told her to summarize it, Sean. But she says she still loves you. But yeah, everything you nailed it. Spot on.
I mean, Bree,
She brought up a good point.
if you want to idolize somebody or follow somebody, that is quote unquote a celebrity, Dustin Perry is the embodiment of what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Brian J. Kano, is he quirky? A little weird? Yeah, that's what makes Brian. Brian is so fucking smart. So smart. His passion for the field is tremendous. Mike Ricksecker, another dude. Oh my God, he makes me feel like a toddler. Not hard, not very smart, but this dude is beyond. You know what I mean? There are a lot of good people in the field.
Here's the one thing you need to understand about paranormal, quote unquote, celebrity. The most well-known one is going to be Zach Bagans. Everybody knows who Zach Bagans is. But all these other guys, if you were to pass them on the street, you'd have no idea who the fuck they were. They're not celebrities. They're not Hollywood celebrities. They're celebrities in the field of what we do. We'd know them, but if you pass them on the street, you'd never know. So go ahead and get your 15 seconds of fame. Try and chase your celebrity. You're probably not going to get it. And if you do, you sold your soul and drank a baby's blood to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've said my piece.
Bree Lily said hi and she loves you. That was from Adam.
Oh, hi, Lily. Love you.
Yeah, I feel better.
Do you? You don't look better. I'm glad you feel better. You look like a freaking hobbit.
I'll fucking spider monkey your ass.
I'll let you guys know tomorrow if he really feels better.
Yeah.
But no, you know, again, truly, this was not an episode to bash people. This is our no nonsense opinion on it. You know, take it for what it's worth, I guess. I just hope at some point, you know, stop the fucking stupid shit, bullying, coming after each other, cyber, whatever. You know, it's retarded. And
Father Ken said he had dinner and missed everything. Can you repeat the show? Oh, I love that guy.
But you know, going forward, you know, Old World has a full schedule this year. Bree and I have a full schedule. We even came to the thought process of canceling a lot of things this year. I don't know what we're going to do. We have kind of came up with an idea to do something different. And we truly believe if we pull this off, this will halt the paranormal community and make you rethink everything.
This is gonna be the epic mic drop.
Mic drop. So we're working on this. You might not see us TikTok live a lot. Might not see us investigating a lot, but I promise you, we are working on something remarkable.
Yeah. It's massive.
Because again, I love this field. I learn every day from every single person I meet, except for Sean Coletta. You know, I love the new teams that are coming in. I think it's great. I hope they have success and they stay away from the drama, you know, from the newbies all the way to the top. You know, I truly do love majority of you people.
I like how you phrase it. The majority of you people.
Majority. But the one thing I will tell you, and Sean will agree, we will not change. We will be who we are. We're going to do what we do. We have no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. If you're tuning in on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If not, subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple and iHeart and SoundCloud or whatever your podcast streaming platform is. Around the globe, from India to Russia to Poland to Canada to Mexico, you know, all around the globe, we have listeners. We appreciate every single one of you people. We thank you for listening to us. We're going to continue this journey, and we're going to, I don't know, probably going to piss off a lot more people.
Hey, life goes on.
Life goes on. You know what? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to go to bed. She's going to go to bed. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to go do what I do for a living.
And then find something else to be pissed about during the day.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then come home and to her, and life goes on. So if you're mad at me, I don't care.
No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets.
That's the title of this episode.
All right. Episode 108 is
Dunzo, we appreciate you. Next week, Kara Montgomery.
Indeed. And then the week after that,
I promise you, next Monday evening, yes, the eclipse day. This is the perfect guest for this. You are going to get your minds fucking blown next week. She is an amazing human being. She is an amazing healer. And I look forward to this. This is going to be her very first podcast. So she's going to be nervous as hell. And I'm going to make her more uncomfortable. So it'll make it epic. So tune in next Monday, 8 p.m. Following week, we will have Sean and Jen from Bump of the Night. We're going to talk about Specters of the Spring.
Spectre.
Their new event, a Paracon, coming up at the end of April, actually April 27th. So we'll be talking about that. And they are the social media gurus for Parapsychon this year. So I'm sure we'll get in a little bit about Parapsychon, and I will whine and bitch and cry the whole hour about it since I'm not included in it. Neither is Bree. I might have to go and rub Greg's feet, maybe shoe shine his shoes or kiss his ass
Hey, I'll spit if you shine.
to get in next year. Greg, come on, brother. But till next time, guys, we love you. We'll see you later.
And remember, have no regrets.
No regrets. YouTube people, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe. We appreciate it. Don't hate me too much. Send your hate emails to Sean Coletta at ilovewieners.com.
Damn it, man. I love the Wiener Mobile. You're right. Ken Torres says he doesn't care what you think of him.
So
Cole Hawk says you don't like me. We just tolerate you.
makes sense.